Hello, I am Jixel El Manong Song, and I'm here to present to you the study on cost value recognition of the corporate social responsibility, the management perspective. Business sustainability is having the sustainable perspective not only for profits and returns on investment, but also how business operation affects the environment, natural resources, and future generations. Corporate social responsibility is one among the many facets to attain sustainability goal. It is contributing to the community's sustainability, creating and contributing to the community sustainability, creating better and equal opportunities, influencing and acting for public good. Lamoyan Corporation is one of the well-known company or corporation to this CSR initiative. And their vision is making the difference for the glory of God. Their corporate goals is sum up with acronym SPIRIT. S stands for being socially responsible or social responsibility. There are many activities that they initiate like dental outreach program, wastewater management, employing deaf mutes, supporting school for the deaf and many more. Since corporate social responsibility entails considerable amount of costs to be incurred, it is good to study this. It is the reason why we conduct this study. Normally, CSR uh, research on CSR or study on CSR focuses on what are the impact of the initiatives. On this study, we want to know what are the perspective of the management, the flip side of the story of initiative. The proponents having the knowledge about management perspective in cost value recognition of funds allocated to CSR programs is significant to the realistic point of view regarding this matter. This would give proponents the opportunity to study the beliefs of management and to understand further what lead them to take certain actions. Thus, their familiarity with regards to business operation can be further enhanced. For the objectives of the study, this study aims to determine the Lamoyan Corporation management perspective towards corporate social responsibility, specifically to determine the management perspective towards CSR in terms of compliance and cost value recognition of CSR. Second, to identify problems encountered by the managers towards CSR programs. Third, to determine the significant difference on the relationship between management perspective and the problems encountered towards CSR. And lastly, to propose plan of action to address the problems encountered by managers towards CSR. For the methods employed in this study, the proponents or the researchers use descriptive method participated by 17 or 100% managers of and officers of the Lamoyan Corporation. The instrument used was adapted from the questionnaire of Alday et al. With the same uh, corporate social initiative management perspective. The data were analyzed using descriptive and inferential statistics using SPSS version 18 with 0.05 alpha level and strictly follow the confidentiality of information and the Data Privacy Act of 2012. For the results and discussion, table number 1 presents the management perspective towards corporate social responsibility in terms of compliance, and the management generally agree on the indicators presented. This implies that the management generally agrees that the company conducts CSR activities to comply with different regulation and policies, both internal and external. And this is lined with one of their core values or corporate goals, the company, that is social responsibility. Among the indicators, the corporation acknowledges and accepts greater role that they will have to play in the society through CSR, ranked number one, and verbally interpreted strongly agree. This indicates that the management is prepared to engage in activities that are different from their main corporate goal. Aside from their contribution in the growth of the company aspect of the community, they also indulge in the activities that are vital for the betterment of other societal aspects. On the other hand, CSR activities are needed to comply with regulatory condition because there would be penalties if not implemented. The management disagree on this because the organization thinks that CSR initiative should be implemented voluntarily and not just through some regulatory condition. Table 2 presents the management perspective towards CSR cost value recognition in whether it is capitalized or not. So when the management generally agree that CSR initiative should be capitalized. When you say capitalized, the cost should be treated as asset. This means that the management generally agrees that the cost incurred in carrying the CSR program should be capitalized and should be treated as an investment due to the long-term benefits that it will flow into the entity. Among items, the company consider costs allocated as an opportunity for the company to give back to the society, ranked number one, and verbally interpreted strongly agree. The management capitalized the cost incurred because even if they are spent to give back to the society, this results to an enhanced company image, thus adding value to the company. On the other hand, the company invests in budgeting software in allocating funds for CSR activities. The management disagree on that because it does not matter how a budget allocation for CSR is made. What important is the intention of giving back to the society for a better quality of life. Table 3 depicts the management perspective towards CSR now expense. So the management generally disagree that the CSR initiative should be expense because again the treatment according to them is long term in investment which will benefit the company not just for a short period of time. Among the items, the CSR initiative do not contribute much to the company's income or profit, rank number one, which agree, because again, CSR are cost and in this term, classified as expense. Yan. In this regard, a lot of companies implement activities and programs to promote corporate social responsibility, but they may do this without considering if it is ideal for the company to do such initiative. On the other hand, cost allocated for CSR is considered as company's burden. Because of the cost, they disagree on that. Though CSR initiative are cost or expenses, yet still it is not a company's burden. Rather, they do it voluntarily. They bring the credit to the company, especially when it comes to brand name, and they should embrace it willingly. For the problems encountered, management sometimes encounter this problem, and among the problems are exposure of the company to social media affects its company reputation, and CSR project ranks one, and sometimes that the news about unique CSR initiative of the company has impact on its reputation. While internal control against bribery and corrupt payments is insufficient, never, meaning that the internal control, despite of it is not a problem, the internal control is not a problem, even though they are doing CSR initiative. For relationship between management perspective and problems encountered, it was found not significant, meaning there was no significant relationship between management perspective and the problems encountered. It only means that whatever the perspective of the management, they will continue to do their CSR initiative. For table number 6, proposed plan of action, the key result area, strategies and persons involved, regular updates of CSR activities, revisit and evaluate organizational processes, and good relationship among stakeholders. For conclusion, based on the findings of the study, the following conclusion were drawn. Management generally agrees on the voluntary compliance of the company in terms of CSR initiative and that their cost value recognition of CSR initiative is capitalized. The management sometimes encounters the problem, and there was no significant relationship between management perspective and the problems encountered, and the proposed plan of action was prepared to address the problems encountered. For the recommendation, the management may improve their CSR publicity by responding more on interviews, considering that one of their CSR programs, which is employment of deaf mutes, in their factory is unique. Second, given the social responsibility is part of their core value, the management, with the help of HR department, may constantly remind their employees of its relevance to the company. They may interact with their stakeholders through various means of open communication, or they may spearhead events for the same purposes. The proposed plan of action was prepared and may be considered by the management, and for future researchers, they may conduct similar study. So that's the end of my presentation. Here are some of my references. Thank you very much.